could just take a moment of silence, just to note that this week marks the anniversary of the terrorist attack on September 11th, 2001. So if you'd like to remember the victims and their families in your moment, that would be great.
Supervisor Stiles?
Present.
Ryan is not here. Trustee Gray is not here. Trustee Marson?
Here.
Trustee Melody?
Here.
Trustee Severs?
Present.
Carmen Morella is not here. John is not here. And Sarah is not here.
Were we expected John?
I don't know he's on here, so I just called him out.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to look. I don't remember from the meeting. Okay. So now it's time for public comments. Did you grab the sheet? Okay.
Yeah.
What we got?
She thought she was just signing in.
Okay. Now is your chance.
But if you want,
Say something to say.
Okay, Angie?
Yeah. I was just wondering what that public notice was for on Founder's Circle. It says that it's for case number HG-2523-SB. Hearing date Thursday, September 18th, 2025. Hearing time 7 p.m. Location 14240 West 151st Street, Homer Glen. Anybody know what that's for? It's right across from where we live.
can I see it?
And so it sounds like a zoning hearing from the village board.
Say something about this property.
I'll get back to you. Because we're not really supposed to go back and forth during public comment anyway, but I can look that up on my phone after the meeting, and then I'll get back to you.
Oh, okay.
Off the top of my head, I don't know what that might be about. It might be comment property.
Yeah, I didn't know if something was going on in that little strip mall or whatever, or...
Right, there might be something with the business, and I probably received notice. I just don't remember what it was. Just for your information, since you pretty much live in that area, there is some construction work happening. ComEd is putting, or ComEd is the property to the north. They're putting in a sewer line and a water line between. They're crossing over to Martindale to do that, and then the pipeline is going to be doing some work in the area.
How long will that take?
I asked for a date today.
2 months.
Oh, you know?
That's what they said.
It's not going to be long. It's just a line.
It's in her backyard.
Who did you ask? Huh? Who did you ask?
They got it standing there.
Okay, if we can move on to approval of minutes. If I could have a motion to approve the minutes from August 11th, 2025, from the monthly board meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Melody
I'll second.
and Trustee Marson. Any discussion?
No.
Okay, we'll do a roll call.
Supervisor Stiles?
Aye.
Trustee Marson?
Aye.
Trustee Melody?
Aye.
Trustee Severs?
Aye.
Motion passes?
Yes. Okay, moving on for the reports from township officials. Trustee Gray is not here, so we are going to start with Trustee Marson.
Nothing at this time.
Trustee Severs?
The only thing I had was that, I did go, we didn't know that we were going to be there at the same time, but we did check out Trantina on, what was it, Sunday before Labor Day?
It was that weekend.
Yeah, or was it the Saturday? So, there's obviously a lot of work that we need to put in there, and it was nice to get some eyes on what was going on. So, continue to focus on that.
Just
Nothing for me today.
Okay. And the clerk is not here, but I'm going to report that there's bingo tomorrow at Across the Glory. And some people may not know it's $5 to play bingo. It covers the lunch and 10 games. And some people didn't know this the last time, but you don't live in Homer Township. The fee is $10. I just thought I'd make that announcement.
That's, so what time is that?
It starts at noon, but I tell you, people are there by 11:30 to get their favorite spots.
Where is it? Because it used to be right at this church. I went before.
Okay, we can't keep asking questions during the meeting, but I'll go ahead and say, Across the Glory. Yeah, it's that way. It is the church over there. I'm turned around. Okay, and then also in remembrance of the 2,977 victims who lost their lives to the terrorist attacks on September 11th. It's now referred as Patriot Day, and the flag will be lowered at the township buildings on that day, so in case you're driving by and wondering why they're lowered. And it's encouraged to put your flags at half-staff from sunrise to sunset that day. Okay, Highway Commissioner is not here, Assessor's not here, Collector's not here, so I have a really long one. Okay. There was a lot of Facebook chatter about the maintenance over at Trantina Farm, and I thought I would just give a little explanation about what's been going on with maintenance. We also have maintenance issues a little bit at Founders Crossing as well with the senior apartments. When we took office on May 19th, there were 2 maintenance people on staff. One was out on medical leave, and the other one was pretty much working by himself until the end of the month. Well, at the end of the month, he retired after many years of service. Yeah, that was Sean. And then Jim came back, and so we were hiring. We were advertising and interviewing to hire another maintenance person as well as a seasonal worker. And so, in fairness, Jim, he was working a lot, and we brought back a temporary person that had been a former employee, but he had very limited time to work. And so then anyway, we did hire a seasonal worker. He started in July. So the month of June was a very difficult month. And then we also hired a maintenance foreman that was supposed to start in July, but he was in a car accident and severely injured 2 days before his start date. And so at the July meeting, I announced that we hired somebody, and then at the August meeting, I had to announce that we're now hiring again. And today, good news is, we have a new maintenance foreman, who is Sean Smith. And if you haven't, for those who are in attendance, if you haven't met him yet, you will be meeting him this week. So Trantina, that farm property had really been neglected over a number of years. And we knew that coming in, and started to put things in place to get the ball rolling for maintenance. Number one importance was the playground area. It just looked unkept. I asked the director for the parks from the village of Homer Glen to come over and take a look at it, and she gave us some recommendations. And also our highway commissioner, who's not here, he was a former certified playground safety inspector. And one of the biggest issues was the mulch in the playground. It had been there for so long, it had decomposed so much. It was very fertile compost and dirt. Unsafe to really be falling off or jumping off of the equipment. So the plan was to remove the mulch. And we didn't fence it off right away because we were getting equipment in there to move it. Unfortunately, when John Robinson went out there to work, he used 2 different pieces of equipment, and they both got stuck in there. And then after that, we did get a quote from Bankston's Nursery, who, when we didn't have the maintenance foreman start in July, we hired Bankston's Nursery in August to actually cut the grass and weed over at Trantina because we didn't have enough staff. So they gave us a quote to remove the mulch, and they started removing the mulch today. And they're about a third of the way done. It's really not a quick, easy project. And then we have mulch on order, and so that should be up and running soon. But the equipment needs parts, the swing sets, and there's some bolts missing from the other equipment. So I'm not sure when the playground will actually be open. Also on the grounds, there are 2 silos. We had a structural engineer come out and look at the silos. They're concrete, and they could be a draw for somebody to go climb, go in, or whatever. And we don't want a piece of concrete falling on somebody. And the report on the silos was that the one that's to the east, which is the older one, that one needs to be demolished. And so we're looking for quotes for demolishing that silo. We are keeping the other one. The one to the west, it needs a roof. So in the meantime, we have fencing around that to keep anyone from playing in that area. And then the corn crib that's there, that's the gray structure that's in the back. It's an older building. That is in good shape. It's just that there are some rotten boards that need to be replaced and it needs to be cleaned out. So there's fencing around there. So you will see a lot of fencing at on the grounds, but that is for safety reasons. We closed it on Sunday of Labor Day weekend once we heard that there were kids playing over there, and we knew that we had to make sure that it was fenced off so that didn't happen. So that is the status pretty much over at Trentina. Since May, we've replaced 2 windows over there. The barn needs, on the barn, there's porch work that's needed. It's a historic building, so when we do that, we'll have to take care on meeting that. And the fire pit, the benches around the fire pit are rotten, and we are removing those. And we do have an Eagle Scout candidate that is working on a project to make new benches for the grounds, but those won't be done for at least a couple months. So, and the Porters are going to be having, I believe, a bonfire there. Event on the 19th, as long as everything goes well. So that's the status. I wanted to give everybody an update on the Trentina Farm Grounds. Also, Morris Park needs attention. We'll be looking at that. And we know that there's work that's Founders, the Healing Garden. We've been trying to get quotes to the cement benches were destroyed by vandalism, and we're working on those. And in the meantime, we've had 2 residents move out since since May, and I'm happy to say that one has moved in, and the other unit, I believe a lease is being signed. I don't know if it's we got an agreement going today, so you'll have another new neighbor. Okay. Also, I attended General Assistance Workshop in Schaumburg on the 20th. That was really helpful. We are getting quite a few requests for general assistance, and I just want to express that there is a need for food. I know I've seen several postings at the different food pantries and micro pantries that are in the community. If you have one near you, we have one in front of Village Hall. I mean, not Village Hall. Sorry. Township. The
West side of the
building.
Township building.
And I know the library has one, and I think there's one in front of some of the schools. Consider stocking, adding to those pantries. We did have a pantry in front of on Golden Oak. There's some businesses, there's a Billy O'Malley's and some other offices over there, and we don't know what happened to it. Somebody took the unit, so that belonged to the township. If anybody knows, we would welcome that unit back. Okay, and I'll touch on the open space and civic center on that item. So on to our action items. So the first item is approval of bills for payment. So if I could have a motion to consider approval of payment of all bills for August 2025.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay. So that was Marson and Stevens. Can you call the roll?
Supervisor Steinman,
Aye.
Trustee Marson,
Aye.
Trustee Melody,
Aye.
Trustee Severs.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, and now an approval to allow the supervisor to enter into an agreement to purchase additional security equipment and services for the buildings and grounds at Trantina Farm for a not to exceed amount of $10,000. So we're in the process of reviewing a lot of our security, the alarm systems and cameras that we have placed throughout on our properties in the township. And I've received several quotes and recommendations, but now we need to compare, are these like equipment and like services? And for security purposes, I'm just going to ask, they range in price from 5 to 10. So if I could get a motion to approve a not to exceed amount.
I'll make that motion.
I will second.
Severs and Melody.
Supervisor Steinman,
But,
Discussion.
yeah, good question. So what are they gonna do with the old equipment? Are they gonna keep it? Are they gonna use it? Is it all being replaced? Do we know?
We don't know. It depends on like which vendor we choose.
Okay.
Okay, because one vendor does have the equipment, in some locations, or in example, the barn. Okay, and then the other would be, I don't know what you can do with the old equipment. So
Okay.
if you
I
have,
just don't know if it's still usable, is it?
yeah, I'm willing to bet it's old.
Okay.
It's old. Yeah, old. So if you have suggestions, if you would let me know, I definitely would. Okay.
Okay. I'm just curious what they were gonna do with the old stuff, if they could repurpose it, or if they're just gonna.
If we could use it somewhere else, maybe,
Right.
is that what you're thinking, in place of?
Yeah, possibly.
Okay. We'll take a look at that, and I'll give you posted.
Okay, that's all I have.
excuse me, sorry, Trustee, thank you. Do you want to roll call for that?
All right, ready for roll call? Any other discussion?
Okay, Supervisor Steinman,
Aye.
Trustee Marson,
Aye.
Trustee Melody,
Aye.
Trustee Severs.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, approval of a resolution 2025-0809, Res 1, opposing Will County's 5-lane expansion of 133rd and the proposed compromise presented at Will County Board Public Works and Transportation Committee meeting on September 2nd, 2025. And for those of you who were here last month, Will County Board member Steve Balich was here, and he explained a little bit about the compromise that was being proposed. As many of you know, the county is planning on widening 143rd and going from 2 lanes to 5 lanes. From Bell, it's already 5 lanes between Bell East going up to, I think, Will Club, going a little further. So now they want it to be 5 lanes from Bell Road to Lamont Road. And the village, many residents in the township, we've all opposed the 5-lane expansion. And there's been lots of meetings going on over the last year and a half between the county board. It was opposed by some of the board members, then the executive vetoed it, and the executive is trying to work with the community, and the Department of Transportation for Will County came up with this idea of a compromise with ending having 5 lanes from Bell Road to Parker, really Heatherwood Drive, so that it would narrow down and then go to 2 lanes until you got to Lamont Road, where again it goes to 5 lanes when you get near the tollway. And it's not stopping that project, it's really just putting pause. It's just stopped, they're just not going to fund it for the time being. So it's not really a solution, and we have some concerns about safety. So we have a resolution drafted, and I'm just going to read our These are the reasons for our objection. One is the proposed 5-lane expansion would alter and degrade the rural character of Homer Township. Safety is paramount concern because widening to 5 lanes would induce higher volumes and speeds, increasing crash risk for residents, school, traffic, bicyclists, pedestrians, and turning vehicles. The township requests that the posted speed limit on 143rd Street within Homer Township be reduced to improve safety and consistency with surrounding residential uses. The proposed compromise to maintain 5 lanes from Bell Road to Parker Road and then narrow to 2 lanes between Parker Road and Lamont Road would create a bottleneck and additional safety hazards. The project would divert traffic critical to the economic development of 159th Street to 143rd Street, thereby undermining planned investment and growth along 159th Street. Residents have consistently opposed developing 143rd Street as a commercial corridor between Golden Oak and Lamont Road. And the project would negatively impact the environment, including removal of trees, increased stormwater runoff, excessive noise, and air pollution, and loss of the area's rural nature. And the county board is going to be meeting on September 18th to approve the compromise. So we would like to get this resolution passed and then send them a letter giving our opposition. So if I could have a motion to approve the resolution.
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Melody
I'll second.
and Trustee Marson. Okay, any discussion?
No.
No? All right, hearing none, call the roll.
Supervisor Steinman?
Aye.
Trustee Marson?
Aye.
Trustee Melody?
Aye.
Trustee Severs?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, moving on to old business Civic Center update. So the Civic Center is we had the general contractor architect here back in July that discussed the items that were needed in order to bring us to occupancy, which means that we could use the building. And that figure was pretty high, and we really do not have the funds. He had said the previous administration had talked about going out for a loan. We formed a open space civic center committee, and if anyone is interested in joining that committee, there's still room for participants. That committee has started meeting. Their last meeting was September 2nd. And before we move forward, we would really like to get some community input. The community wasn't input. It didn't really have much input before the building was put up. And if we were to change anything on the building, now is probably the time to change, like especially in reference to the use and the interior of the building. Because if you want to use it for anything different, it could affect the septic system, or it could affect the fire suppression system that gets installed. So, and maybe a few other things. And how much funding where do we look for funding, and how are we going to fund it? We really do not probably have enough funds in our reserves to do that. So we have to look at the options, what grants are available, how long will it take to get one, do we get a loan, what do we do? So that stuff, those items and questions and options will be presented to the public. Hopefully we'll have something at our next meeting. We are working on developing a video so that people could see the interior, or see not just the interior, the exterior and what needs to be done. It looks like a finished building when you drive by it, because you see a striped parking lot and you see an exterior, but you're not seeing the inner workings that aren't there to actually to make it. So we do not want to rush into doing something. We want to do it right. And so we will be coming up with some kind of a survey or way of community members to give us some input before we plunge forward. And then So I'm hoping that by next month we'll have that video completed. We've had to look at the grant funding, and we had to find all sorts of documents to give to the grantor, and as well as our auditors. And so, all that process, we've been able to uncover like what is the whole story and be able to give that to the public. And and then we're also gathering input from different contractors and other people that have businesses or ideas that maybe what would be the most efficient way or cost-effective way that we could move forward. So that is the update on the Civic Center. And then now moving on to new business. I have on here Access Will County Dial-A-Ride. One of the things that I noticed when I was at the village of Homer Glen, one of our most frequent calls was people who needed rides to get somewhere. They were either calling for their parents, especially senior citizens, also people with disabilities that need transportation that can accommodate a wheelchair. Those are not in large supply in our area. And there is a system which is the PACE Dial-A-Ride system that is currently in use, but that has limitations on use. Where it will take people, if it's a medical appointment, they will take you to your medical appointment. I think they'll take you to Silver Cross. But people want to get to other places. And even if it's just over the line into Orland, or maybe you need to go to Joliet to go to the courthouse or something. And so it doesn't really get you to many places in Will County. So Will County has a system called Will County Access Will County, and it's currently in effect. And the PACE was included in the PACE information was included in your packet. What wasn't in the packet was this brochure for the Access Will County. And what they do is they have somebody that's like full-time, just about answering calls and helping people figure out their transportation needs. And instead of a limited area around Homer Glen, they will take you anywhere within the county and portions of Cook County, because just not even on our borders, but people who live in Crete, Moline, Frankfurt go to Cook County in some places. And we are in the process, they're drafting an agreement to present to us to see if we want to sign on. What it would involve is the funds that we actually pay PACE for the rides. The individual pays a small portion, a small fee, but we make up the difference as a township. So eventually what we would be paying PACE would transfer over to Will County. And so I have a meeting this week with the representatives, and we're looking at January of 2026 as being a possible. It may cost us more money, but if we look at, Lockport Township has 3 buses that they use to get people rides to places. We don't have anything. All we have is PACE. So this would probably be our more cost-effective way of adding on to transportation for seniors and those with special needs on transportation. So that'll be coming forth at our next meeting. Moving on from there, and I sent people photos of, this isn't listed under new business, but the Eagle Scout recently came up to us with some bench ideas for the fire pit. So we're not going to get, I'm not going to vote on one tonight, but I'm looking for input from each of you and input from maybe the Open Space Committee or what they would like to see there. And he needs this as soon as possible so he can get started on the project. So if you haven't responded, it's kind of funny because I sent it out and you asked 3 people and you get 3 different
Is that where we landed?
So I am not sure how that's going to work yet. But
The quick answer is I didn't realize those were the Eagle Scout. I thought they were some business that was going to make them, which
Right.
is really cool. But I mean, really, I like any of them, right? They're all good. I gave my preference, but I think they're all pretty good. The only one that I would go against would be 4 because it doesn't have a backing. But once you do you like 4? I like all of them.
well, some people like 4 because it blends in a little bit. You see the nature around it. It's not obtrusive. So that's what I'm saying. So,
One, okay, so you got 2-1 so far.
I think 1 is winning at the moment, but
But they're all good. I mean, I think
but
an Eagle Scout too. I think it's fantastic. So
but your reasonings for why, would be good. Some people don't like the open air.
that's on the time.
But so we're going to look in, and he wanted to know the material, which type of wood, and I think we're favoring cedar because it's better, easily.
Yeah, whatever's gonna last throughout the year.
Right.
Probably the sturdiest, or they even sell that wood that's,
The composite.
yeah,
This
they
maintenance
might be
drive
able
would
to
be
sell it
nice.
because,
Maintenance free would be nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, composites, I don't know if they can, how easy it is for them to build with something like that.
But maybe the township could help then. Cover the cost.
Well,
The composite from cedar to composite.
Yes. So
Yeah, 'cause it is more expensive.
I need to
I
get my
think-
lips. Sorry.
Well, I will ask him, the scout, as well as the committees too, and just see, and we'll go from there. But just keep feeding me your ideas or your.
it's just like the picnic benches, when they sit out there, after time, they just disintegrate and they look, awful.
And I think if they were staying regularly, that would help, But I think I will ask him about composite. That's a good idea.
So did we set a date for the next open space committee meeting?
I think it's October 1st. It's consistent with the day, so I think it's always on, is that a Monday?
Is that open to the public?
The open space meeting, yes. All our meetings are open to the public.
Open and as Sue said, we are looking
No, it
for
wasn't.
individuals
You know
to
what?
join, but you don't
Take
have to
that
join and come and
There
still
were
just.
4.
You know what? I think it might be Columbus Day. It's Columbus Day. Or Native, whatever day. it is.
Yeah, that's more of an open discussion kind
October
of
13th.
meeting, right? Ideas, sharing ideas for the Civic Center.
What's that? That is October 3rd.
First,
No, I actually was going to be on the 13th.
October
Is
13th.
that fine if we do a meeting on a holiday?
Is it a regular?
No, it's not regular. Well, it hasn't been
You
regular.
can't hold a special meeting on a holiday.
Okay.
If it's part of your regular meeting schedule, you can do it, but you can't hold a special meeting on it.
Because the regular meeting date, I think, was going to be the first Monday of the month, and that's not the first Monday because the board meeting got changed to the first Monday because of the holiday. So so we have to come up with another day. Okay, we will come up with another day and post it. All right. Okay. Also, in the works is we're looking at getting Wi-Fi for this building, as well as maybe the activity center, and so we can do key fobs and other, as well as we want Wi-Fi in here possibly for future meetings. So I'm getting quotes on that. So that'll be coming up in new business. Other than that, does anyone else have anything that they would like to bring up? Okay, and we get a motion for adjournment.
I will make that motion.
I will second.
Okay, Melody and Severs.
So the meeting ended at 7:35.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Go Bears.
Okay, meeting adjourned.
Go Bears. Make an official resolution.
7:35.
Bears.
I know the